Leadership is not about titles, positions, or authority. It is about influence, impact, and responsibility. True leadership is not something one seeks. It is something one embodies. It is a calling, a mandate, a purpose greater than the individual. A kingdom leader is one who leads with divine wisdom, integrity, and vision, shaping lives and transforming generations. Today, I want to share with you 7 powerful qualities that define a kingdom leader. These are not just theories, they are time-tested principles that have elevated ordinary men and women into extraordinary leaders. If you embrace these qualities, you will not only lead but inspire, uplift, and create a legacy that will outlive you. Let's dive into these transformative qualities. A true leader does not lead from where they are, but from where they see. Vision is the foundation of leadership. It is the ability to see beyond obstacles, beyond failures, beyond circumstances, and into the future. Without vision, leadership is aimless, directionless, and ineffective. History is filled with individuals who rose to greatness, not because of their resources, intelligence, or connections, but because they had a vision. They saw something no one else could see. They believed in a future that seemed impossible, and they dedicated themselves to making it a reality. Vision is what separates those who merely exist from those who make a lasting impact. A leader without vision is like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the winds of life take them. But a leader with vision navigates with purpose, undeterred by challenges. Vision provides clarity in moments of confusion. It keeps a leader focused when distractions arise. When obstacles appear, a leader with vision does not see them as roadblocks, but as stepping stones toward their goal. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who saw an opportunity where others saw failure. When everyone around him doubted the idea, he remained steadfast because he had a vision. He worked tirelessly, endured setbacks, and faced ridicule. But because his vision was strong, he pressed forward. Years later, that same vision transformed into a global empire impacting millions. Vision also ignites passion in those who follow. People do not rally behind mediocrity or uncertainty. They are drawn to leaders who speak with conviction, who paint a picture of a better future, and who are relentless in their pursuit of that future. A leader with vision does not just see possibilities, they communicate them in a way that inspires action. Great leaders understand that vision is not limited by present circumstances. A leader may be surrounded by poverty, oppression, or lack of opportunity, but vision allows them to see beyond their immediate environment. Vision looks past temporary struggles and embraces future triumphs. It does not deny reality, but refuses to be defined by it. One of the biggest threats to vision is fear. Fear clouds judgment and paralyzes action. It whispers that failure is inevitable, that the risk is too great, that the dream is too big. But a leader with vision does not allow fear to dictate their decisions. Instead, they use vision as a guiding light, pushing through uncertainty with unwavering faith. To develop vision, a leader must first understand their purpose. Why are you here? What is your assignment? What problem are you called to solve? Clarity of purpose fuels vision. When purpose is clear, vision becomes unstoppable. Vision also requires intentionality. A leader must actively cultivate and refine their vision. This means spending time in reflection, seeking knowledge, and surrounding themselves with people who challenge and elevate their thinking. A vision that is not nurtured will fade over time, leading to stagnation. Leadership begins when a person dares to see beyond what is and envisions what could be. Vision is the birthplace of innovation, progress, and transformation. Without it, leadership is reduced to mere management of the present. But with it, a leader has the power to change the course of history. Leadership is not about popularity. It is about integrity. A leader may have talent, intelligence, and skill, but if they lack character, they will eventually fall. Character is the foundation upon which all true leadership stands. It determines whether a leader's influence will endure or crumble under the weight of personal failure. Character is not built in a moment. It is forged through daily decisions. It is the commitment to honesty when deceit is easier. It is the choice to do what is right even when no one is watching. It is discipline in small matters that shapes integrity in larger ones. A leader without character may rise quickly, but their fall is inevitable. Many leaders throughout history have lost everything, not because of a lack of ability, but because of a lack of character. Some built vast businesses, led nations, or held powerful positions, yet their moral failures erased their legacies. Their talents took them to great heights, but their lack of integrity brought them down. Consider the leader who was admired for their vision and intelligence. They inspired many and seemed unstoppable, but behind closed doors, compromises were made. Small ethical violations turned into larger betrayal. Eventually, their true character was exposed, and the very people who once followed them turned away in disappointment. Their downfall was not due to incompetence, but a failure of integrity. Character provides stability. A leader with strong character remains unshaken by external pressures. They do not compromise values for temporary gain. When faced with difficult choices, they prioritize principle over profit, truth over convenience. This unwavering commitment builds trust, and trust is the currency of leadership. People do not follow leaders they cannot trust. No matter how charismatic, knowledgeable, or successful a leader appears, without trust, their influence diminishes. Followers may comply for a time, but loyalty is only sustained when character is evident. Trust is earned through consistency, by aligning words with actions, by being accountable, and by demonstrating reliability. Character also affects decision-making. Leaders are constantly faced with choices that test their integrity. Do they cut corners for quick results? Do they tell the truth even when it is costly? Do they keep their promises when circumstances change? Every decision reflects character. Leaders with strong character choose long-term impact over short-term success. A key aspect of character is humility. True leaders do not seek personal glory. They serve a greater purpose. They do not see themselves as above others, but remain teachable, willing to listen, learn, and grow. Humility allows a leader to acknowledge mistakes, take responsibility, and make amends. Resilience is another defining trait of character. A leader will face failures, disappointments, and opposition. How they respond reveals their true nature. Do they give up at the first sign of trouble? Do they shift blame onto others, or do they stand firm, learn from setbacks, and continue forward? Leaders with strong character embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. To develop character, a leader must be intentional, surrounding oneself with wise counsel, seeking accountability, and constantly refining personal values are essential steps. Small compromises lead to major failures, so a leader must guard their heart, thoughts, and actions daily. Character is the unseen force that sustains leadership. It determines whether influence will be lasting or fleeting. While vision ignites the journey, character ensures that the journey remains honorable. Leadership without character is a house built on sand, destined to collapse. But leadership rooted in integrity stands firm, leaving a legacy that cannot be shaken. Leadership in the world is often associated with power, control, and authority. People seek leadership to gain influence, wealth, or status. However, true leadership is not about being served. It is about serving. The greatest leaders are those who put the needs of others before their own, who seek to uplift rather than dominate, and who lead with a heart of service rather than a desire for personal gain. A leader who lacks a servant's heart may succeed for a time, but their influence will eventually fade. People may follow out of obligation or fear, but they will not give their loyalty. A leader who serves, however, earns trust, respect, and devotion. Servant leadership is not a strategy, it is a mindset. It requires seeing leadership as a responsibility to empower and equip others, rather than an opportunity to take advantage of them. Great leaders throughout history have embraced servanthood. They understood that leadership is not about personal ambition, but about a greater purpose. They did not seek to be honored, but to make a difference. Their leadership was measured not by how many served them, but by how many they served. Consider the example of a business leader who genuinely cares for their employees. They invest in their team's growth, listen to their concerns, and ensure that they have the resources needed to succeed. Employees under such leadership are not just workers. They become engaged, loyal, and committed. They go the extra mile, not because they have to, but because they feel valued and inspired. Servant leadership requires humility. A leader must be willing to set aside ego, personal gain, and the desire for recognition. A leader who is too proud to serve will never fully understand the essence of leadership. Humility does not mean weakness. It means strength under control. It means being confident enough to lift others without fear of losing personal status. One of the greatest signs of a servant leader is the willingness to sacrifice. Sacrifice does not always mean giving up material things. It means putting the needs of others before personal comfort. It means being available when it is inconvenient, making decisions that benefit others, even at personal cost, and staying committed to the vision, even when there is little recognition. A servant leader does not seek shortcuts to success. They build relationships, mentor others, and invest time in developing those they lead. Leadership is not about demanding respect, but about earning it through genuine care and selfless action. A true leader finds fulfillment not in what they receive, but in what they give. Servanthood also builds unity. When a leader prioritizes service, it creates an environment of trust and cooperation. People feel valued, and as a result, they work together with greater dedication. They are willing to sacrifice for the mission because they see their leader doing the same. The world often teaches that leadership is about control, but history proves otherwise. The most impactful leaders did not seek dominance. They sought to serve. They changed lives, built legacies, and transformed communities, not through power, but through humility and selflessness. Leadership that is rooted in servanthood will always be stronger than leadership built on authority alone. Every leader will face moments when fear threatens to overtake them. Challenges will arise, opposition will come, and uncertainty will loom. What separates great leaders from the rest is the ability to move forward despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the determination to act in the face of it. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to leadership. It stops people from taking risks, making decisions, or pursuing their purpose. A leader who is controlled by fear will hesitate, doubt, and eventually retreat when the pressure becomes too great. But a courageous leader moves forward even when the odds seem stacked against them. History is filled with leaders who had to stand alone, facing immense pressure, ridicule, or even danger. They did not back down because they believed in their mission. They understood that leadership requires boldness, resilience, and unwavering commitment. Consider the entrepreneur who risks everything to start a business because they believe in an idea. They face criticism, financial struggles, and moments of doubt, yet they refuse to quit. Years later, their perseverance pays off and their vision becomes a reality. The courage to start when others doubted was the key to their success. Courageous leadership does not mean ignoring danger or acting recklessly. It means making the right decision. It means standing for truth when it is unpopular, protecting people when it is costly, and holding onto integrity when compromise would be easier. One of the greatest tests of courage is handling failure. Every leader will fail at some point. Plans will collapse, mistakes will be made, and setbacks will occur. Weak leaders allow failure to define them. Strong leaders use failure they learn, adjust, and keep going. They do not let fear of failure prevent them from trying again. Courage also means facing criticism without losing focus. Leaders will always have critics. Some will misunderstand, others will oppose simply out of jealousy or fear. A leader who is easily swayed by the opinions of others will never accomplish much. Courage allows a leader to filter out negativity and stay committed to the vision. Some of the most revolutionary changes in history happened because leaders refused to give in to fear. They faced opposition, persecution, and great risk, yet they stood firm. Their courage not only changed their own lives, but also impacted generations. Courageous leadership inspires others. When people see a leader who stands strong in adversity, they gain confidence. They begin to believe that they too can overcome challenges. A courageous leader does not just fight their own battles. They empower others to face their own fears and move forward with confidence. To develop courage, a leader must embrace challenges rather than avoid them. They must train themselves to see obstacles as opportunities for growth. They must be willing to fail, learn, and try again. They must cultivate resilience, understanding that leadership is not about never falling, but about always getting back up. Courage is the fuel that drives a leader forward when everything else says to stop. It is the strength to walk into the unknown, trusting that purpose is greater than fear. A leader who lacks courage will always stay where it is safe, but a leader with courage will go where no one else dares to go. Leadership is defined by decisions. Every day, a leader is faced with choices that shape the future, influence others, and determine success. Wisdom is the ability to make the right decisions at the right time in the right way. It is not just knowledge, but the application of knowledge with understanding. Without wisdom, even the most talented and passionate leaders will make choices that lead to destruction. Wisdom is different from intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to acquire knowledge, but wisdom is the ability to use that knowledge effectively. A leader may have all the facts, all the expertise, and all the experience, but without wisdom, they will still make poor choices. Wisdom is the ability to see beyond the immediate and consider the long-term consequences of actions. It is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move and when to wait, when to fight and when to surrender. A leader without wisdom is like a driver without a map, making random turns and hoping to reach the destination. Some may get lucky for a while, but eventually a wrong turn will lead them far from where they need to be. Leaders who lack wisdom make impulsive decisions, act based on emotions, and allow temporary situations to dictate their long-term direction. Wisdom often comes from experience, but it also comes from humility. A wise leader understands that they do not have all the answers. They seek counsel, learn from the experiences of others, and are willing to admit when they do not know something. The most dangerous leader is the one who refuses to listen, convinced that their way is always the best. History is filled with leaders who rose to great power but fell because of unwise decisions. Some ignored warnings, dismissed advisors, or acted out of pride. Their lack of wisdom cost them everything. On the other hand, those who ruled with wisdom left a lasting impact, building legacies that continued long after they were gone. Wisdom is also the ability to manage conflict. Every leader will face disagreements, misunderstandings, and opposition. A wise leader does not escalate problems, but seeks solutions. They understand when to be firm and when to be flexible. They do not react out of anger, but respond with patience and clarity. One of the greatest demonstrations of wisdom is the ability to handle success. Many leaders fail not because of hardship, but because of prosperity. They become arrogant, careless, and complacent. Wisdom keeps a leader grounded. It reminds them that success is not permanent and that every decision still matters, no matter how high they have risen. A wise leader also knows the value of timing. There is a right time for every action. Some leaders fail because they rush into things prematurely, while others fail because they hesitate too long. Wisdom gives the ability to discern when the moment is right. To develop wisdom, a leader must be intentional. They must seek knowledge, listen to wise counsel, reflect on past decisions, and remain open to learning. A leader who values wisdom will make choices that bring long-term success, while a leader who ignores wisdom will eventually face regret. A leader cannot lead others if they cannot lead themselves. Discipline is the foundation of self-leadership. It is the ability to control emotions, manage time, and remain committed to the mission even when motivation fades. Without discipline, leadership becomes inconsistent, unreliable, and weak. Discipline is doing what is necessary even when it is difficult. It is waking up early to work on a vision, staying focused when distractions arise, and remaining committed when challenges come. A leader without discipline will be easily swayed by emotions, circumstances, or external pressures. They may start strong, but without discipline, they will not finish well. Many leaders fail not because of external challenges, but because of internal struggles. They lack the discipline to manage their habits, control their tempers, or stay consistent in their responsibilities. Discipline is the difference between leaders who achieve greatness and those who fall short of their potential. Consider an athlete preparing for a championship. They do not train only when they feel like it. They follow a strict routine, push through exhaustion, and make sacrifices to stay at peak performance. Leadership is no different. The greatest leaders are those who master themselves first. One of the most important areas of discipline is time management. Every leader has the same 24 hours in a day, but how they use it determines their success. Some waste time on distractions while others invest it in learning, planning, and executing their vision. A disciplined leader prioritizes what truly matters. Discipline is also crucial in decision making. Many leaders fail because they make choices based on feelings rather than principles. A disciplined leader does not let temporary emotions dictate long-term actions. They understand that feelings come and go, but principles must remain firm. Financial discipline is another key aspect of leadership. Many leaders rise to power only to lose everything because they mismanage resources. They spend recklessly, take unnecessary risks, or fail to plan for the future. A disciplined leader is a good steward of resources, ensuring sustainability and long-term growth. Health and personal well-being also require discipline. A leader who neglects their physical, mental, or emotional health will eventually burn out. True leadership is a marathon, not a sprint. Those who fail to take care of themselves will not have the strength to lead effectively. Discipline is not just about work, it is also about character. A disciplined leader maintains integrity even when no one is watching. They remain faithful to their commitments even when it is inconvenient. They resist temptations that could destroy their credibility. To develop discipline, a leader must build strong habits. Small, consistent actions create lasting results. Waking up early, reading daily, planning ahead, and sticking to commitments all contribute to disciplined leadership. A leader who lacks discipline will struggle to inspire others. People follow those who are consistent, reliable, and strong-willed. A leader who constantly changes direction, fails to meet deadlines, or lacks self-control will lose credibility. Discipline creates freedom. A leader who disciplines their time has more time. A leader who disciplines their finances has more resources. A leader who disciplines their habits has more energy and clarity. Great leadership does not come from talent alone. It comes from the ability to stay committed when the excitement fades. Discipline turns potential into success, vision into reality, and leadership into legacy. A leader who is disciplined in the small things will be trusted with greater things. Leadership is not measured by words alone, but by the consistency of actions and values. Integrity is the foundation upon which true leadership stands. It is the unwavering commitment to honesty, moral principles, and ethical decision-making, even when no one is watching. A leader without integrity may gain temporary success, but their influence will eventually crumble under the weight of deception and compromise. Integrity is not what a leader does in public, it is who they are in private. It is easy to put on a show when people are watching, to speak words that sound right and to present an image of morality. But the true test of integrity happens when there is no audience, when there is no immediate reward for doing what is right. Leaders with integrity remain the same whether they are on a stage or behind closed doors. They do not shift their values based on convenience or pressure. Many leaders have fallen, not because they lacked skill or knowledge, but because they lacked integrity. Some were highly gifted, charismatic, and visionary, yet they lost everything because they compromised in small ways that led to bigger failures. Integrity is not built overnight, and neither is it lost in a single moment. It is the result of daily decisions, choosing honesty over deception, accountability over secrecy, and principles over personal gain. Trust is the currency of leadership, and integrity is the foundation of trust. People do not follow leaders they cannot trust. A leader may inspire people with their words, but without integrity, those words become meaningless. Trust is earned through consistency, when actions align with promises, when commitments are honored, and when truth is spoken, even when it is difficult. Consider the business leader who refuses to cut ethical corners, even when it means losing a lucrative deal. They choose honesty over short-term gain, knowing that long-term success is built on credibility. Over time, their reputation attracts loyal clients, dedicated employees, and lasting partnerships. Their integrity becomes their greatest asset. Integrity also means taking responsibility for mistakes. Every leader will face moments of failure, but how they respond determines their character. A leader without integrity will shift blame, make excuses, or cover up errors. A leader with integrity acknowledges their mistakes, makes amends, and learns from them. People respect leaders who admit when they are wrong and take corrective action. Temptation is one of the greatest tests of integrity. Power, money, and influence can be dangerous when they are not controlled by strong moral principles. Many leaders have been destroyed because they believed they were above accountability. They thought that small compromises would not matter, but those small cracks eventually led to collapse. A leader must guard their integrity as they would guard their most valuable possession. Integrity is also displayed in how a leader treats others. A leader who treats people with fairness, respect, and kindness, regardless of status or position, demonstrates true character. How a leader treats those who cannot offer anything in return is one of the greatest measures of integrity. Developing integrity requires self-examination. A leader must constantly evaluate their motives, decisions, and actions. They must surround themselves with people who hold them accountable and are not afraid to speak the truth. A leader who isolates themselves from accountability is in danger of losing their integrity. A leader who walks in integrity leaves a legacy that cannot be erased. While achievements and titles may fade, a reputation built on integrity lasts for generations. People may forget what a leader said, but they will never forget how a leader lived. Integrity is not an option in leadership. It is the foundation upon which true leadership is built. Every leader will face challenges, obstacles, and failures. The journey of leadership is not a smooth road. It is filled with setbacks, disappointments, and opposition. Resilience is the ability to stand firm in the midst of adversity, to rise after failure, and to keep moving forward when everything seems to be falling apart. Without resilience, leadership is unsustainable. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, it is about enduring it. Many people desire leadership until they realize the cost. They expect success to come easily, but the reality is that every great leader has faced moments of pain, rejection, and struggle. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit is resilience. History is filled with leaders who refused to give up even when the odds were against them. They were criticized, misunderstood, and faced overwhelming obstacles, yet they continued forward. Some were betrayed by those closest to them, others suffered financial ruin, and many faced repeated failures before achieving success. But because they did not quit, their perseverance turned their struggles into triumphs. Consider the entrepreneur who launches a business only to experience failure after failure. They invest time, effort, and resources, yet things do not go as planned. Many would walk away believing that failure is the final answer. But the resilient leader learns from each setback, adjusts their strategy, and keeps pushing forward. Eventually, their persistence pays off, and what once seemed impossible becomes a reality. Resilience is developed through a mindset shift. A leader must see failure not as a sign of incompetence, but as a learning opportunity. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" a resilient leader asks, "What can I learn from this?" They do not dwell on mistakes, but use them as stepping stones for future success. Challenges reveal the true character of a leader. Some crumble under pressure, allowing fear and frustration to dictate their actions. Others stand firm, refusing to be defined by their struggles. Resilient leaders do not allow temporary setbacks to shake their faith in their vision. They understand that pain is part of the process and that endurance is necessary for greatness. Resilience is also about emotional strength. Leadership can be lonely, and there will be moments when a leader feels overwhelmed by the weight of responsibility. A resilient leader does not allow emotions to dictate their actions. They remain steady, focused, and committed even when they feel discouraged. One of the greatest threats to resilience is the need for immediate results. Many leaders give up too soon because they expect success to happen overnight. They start strong but lose motivation when progress is slow. Resilient leaders understand that greatness takes time. They are willing to endure the process, knowing that perseverance always produces results. Resilience is strengthened through support systems. A leader does not have to endure struggles alone. Wise leaders surround themselves with mentors, advisors, and people who encourage them during difficult times. Having a strong support system provides the strength to keep going when challenges arise. Adversity is not an obstacle to leadership. It is part of it. The leaders who make the greatest impact are not those who never struggled, but those who overcame struggles with unwavering determination. Resilience is the fuel that keeps the leader moving forward when everything else says to stop. A leader who embraces resilience understands that every setback is a setup for a comeback. They refuse to quit, knowing that perseverance is the bridge between failure and success. Resilience is not just about surviving hardships. It is about using them as a foundation for greater strength, wisdom, and impact. Leadership is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It is about stepping into your calling today. The world needs leaders who see beyond the present, who stand with integrity, who serve selflessly, who endure with courage, who act with wisdom, who discipline themselves, who influence for good, and who walk in faith. The question is, will you be that leader? Your destiny is waiting. Your people are waiting. It's time to rise and lead with purpose.